I'm Mayumi from OE Transport.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This is your first time, right?
That's right.
You look incredibly nervous.
I've only spoken a bit from the background before, so standing in front of the camera like this is nerve-wracking.
Yesterday, you were in the back during another recording, so it was easier to talk.
Yes, that's true.
This time you're the main guest, so...
I'm in your hands.
Mayumi, how many years have you been with OE Transport?
Well, I left for a little while, but in total, I'm actually now in my 20th year here.
You were a driver the whole time, right?
Yes, that's right.
We made a video about the man who got injured at OE Transport, and that man is you, Mayumi.
Yes, that's me.
I believe you said it was a nerve-related injury.
The place I injured? Well, I ended up breaking my ankle bone in 3 different places.
Breaking your ankle in 3 places?
Yes, I did have a plate surgically put in, and because of that procedure, even though the nerves themselves are not actually damaged, the sensation in that particular area of my body has become noticeably quite dull and less responsive than before. It is almost as if the feeling there is muted or less sharp, which can be a bit strange to get used to.
Could you tell me what kind of accident it was exactly?
It's a bit embarrassing to talk about, but it was from a place that wasn't high at all. I just slipped, and when I landed, I heard a really loud sharp crack. Oh, it was sudden and startling.
You actually heard it?
I did. It was my first broken bone, and the sound was incredible.
You couldn't even stand up after that, right?
No, I couldn't stand up at all.
Were you on duty at the time?
Yes. I had just finished loading everything and made sure the side panel of the gate was closed securely. I was getting ready to raise the gate, so I checked that everything was in place and the panel was properly latched. As I was about to move on to the next step, I went to step down from the loading area to the ground. At that moment, I lost my balance and slipped.
So, you had an assistant with you back then?
Yes.
Because that assistant was there.
They really saved me, honestly. They contacted the dispatcher immediately and even took over the driving, getting into the driver's seat, or rather the cabin.
Right, it's high up.
They supported me so much, they really did everything for me.
And that was about a year and a half ago?
Yes, a year and a half ago.
Did you go to the hospital from there?
Yes, they took me to the hospital right away. I had an x-ray and my first surgery that same day. Including the final surgery to remove the plate, I had 3 surgeries in total.
3 times?
Yes.
Was the first one for the plate?
No, the first one was actually because the area was really swollen from the break. They couldn't do the main surgery while it was still swollen, so before dealing with the bone, they had to wait for the swelling to go down. They did an initial surgery to help the swelling go down and wait a bit.
Didn't know that surgery existed?
I had some really massive equipment attached to my leg, which, as you might imagine, was honestly quite a shock.
So it was general anesthesia, right? Yes, when you woke up, did it feel like something huge was attached to you?
That's right. By the time I realized what was happening, it was already night.
I see. And did they put the plate in during the second surgery?
Yes, that's right. It was at the end of the year.
Did you break it in November or something?
No, it was December. I think it was the 17th or 18th of December.
About 10 days.
Yes, that's right. And then...
Was it rehabilitation from that point on?
Yes. Right after the new year, I was in that state, but I started rehab right away. They had me started.
You mentioned that you stepped down from being a driver, right? At that time, you could drive, but you said it was difficult to handle the horses, so you stepped down. Back then, when you broke your leg, did you already have no sensation in it?
After the surgery to put the plate in, well, that was also under general anesthesia. And the second time was quite painful afterwards. As the anesthesia gradually wore off, and the intense pain in the affected area subsided, I gradually started to feel like I had no sensation.
I see. Oh, I get it now. So that's how it was.
Yes. Even if I touched it, it didn't feel like it was being touched. That's when I first realized, oh, the sensation is gone.
And after rehab, when did you have the 3rd surgery to remove the plate the following year?
It was back in July.
So you had it in for about half a year?
Yes, that's right. It was in for 6 months. I was discharged from the hospital in January. I was hospitalized for about a month and a half until the first week of February. Well, that hospital was in Ibaraki Prefecture. Given the situation, it was difficult to find a hospital in Hokkaido to transfer to. So I consulted with the director, and since we have several dormitories in Miho for resting, he told me I could use one of them. Since it was the same hospital where I had the surgery, I decided to have them look after me until the end. And from there, yes, I started living alone in the Miho dormitory. While
going to hospital.
Rehab.
Once rehab was over, how much sensation had returned to your leg?
Well, it's still pretty dull even now, honestly, but compared to how it was about a year ago, back in July, after all the plates were removed, it's been little by little. I feel like the sensation is gradually returning, at least somewhat. Also, I still can't really bend it at much of an angle, which is a bit frustrating, but that's just how things are right now.
I see.
That part is actually a bit more difficult for...
Driving a horse trailer, you use both feet, right? You use the clutch too. Which leg was it? Was it the left? I
injured my left leg. Well, with a horse trailer, the clutch operation is actually quite a delicate process. When you're carrying horses, you really have to make sure it doesn't jerk, or what we call shakuru. So, the left foot for the clutch becomes especially important.
I see. From April of last year until about the summer, you were in Ibaraki.
I was in Ibaraki until the end of the month, and the representative there was really very kind to me. He told me I could keep resting until my next surgery, so...
So at that time, workers' comp covered everything?
Right.
Is that normal? I wouldn't know, but workers' comp...
Workers' comp is, well, something that's paid out to employees. Additionally, in our company's case, they had actually signed up for supplemental workers' comp insurance, and that was also paid out, so...
So you were able to take your time and focus on treatment?
Yes. Financially, that part was a huge help, you know.
If you were single, it might be one thing, but...
I have a family. When I got injured, the first thing I thought about was the financial worry. There were hospital and surgery costs, and I couldn't even imagine when I'd be able to return to work. So having that support really saved me.
That's good. Now, I don't know much about how you moved to office work, but you started office work and returned last September, right? Isn't that right?
Yes. Well, I had been a driver for almost 20 years of my life. When it was time for me to return, when they told me my workers' compensation was ending, I had healed physically, but honestly, daily life was still somewhat difficult for me. To be honest, if the company had said, if you can't drive, you have to quit, I really didn't have the confidence to try working anywhere else. So I spoke with the representative to talk things through. And I told him, I really believe I can do this and I genuinely want to give this a try. As the date for my return to work drew closer, we ended up having several thoughtful and in-depth discussions about the situation. And after considering everything, he eventually agreed to let me come back and work in the office. Yes.
How was it? Starting office work in September, did your impression of the office staff change from when you were a driver to when you became one of them? Your impression...
Did it change? Oh, it's completely different. Until now, with the manager, the section chief and everyone else, it was always driver versus office staff. But as an office worker, I had absolutely no skills. I was starting from zero.
From zero?
Yes, from zero. Even...
You said it was from how to turn on a computer. Right. So...
it was actually, honestly, completely different from what I expected.
It's like trying to be a driver without knowing how to start the engine.
Yes, there was...
So much to learn, wasn't there?
Yes. I became a truck driver because I loved it. I had never even touched a computer before. To people who use them every day, I was at a level where they'd think, you don't even know that. There was so much I had to memorize. Well, that's still true today, but my brain is working at full capacity. The representative actually went out of their way to create this particular position specifically for me, which is a role that, to be honest, did not really exist before I came along. So,
the prefab in the parking lot where you are now, it was just a storage shed at first, right?
Right, yeah.
No internet either. Right, that's where we started. Even learning how to use Zoom. Yeah, we did that. Do you have any regrets about leaving driving?
Well, honestly, and I'm sorry to say this, but I really do love driving trucks. Ever since I got my license at the age of 21, when I was finally able to drive heavy vehicles, I have worked for this company. So even now, if I could return to that work, that feeling, that passion for driving is definitely still there.
I see. Since last September, has the feeling and movement in your legs mostly come back?
Yes, well, even in my current position, I move my body quite a lot. So by moving around, I'm gradually getting used to it again. At first...
Because when we met in September or October, you were still dragging your leg, weren't you?
Right, in September, yeah, I think I was still dragging it quite a bit now.
You're walking normally.
That's also thanks to this position. It's been like a very natural form of rehab. Mr. Takura.
Mr. Takura also moved to office work after he stopped driving, and the CEO mentioned in a recent video that he wants to create positions where everyone can work for a long time. He's always saying we're short-staffed. Is there anything you'd like to do in the future, now that it's been 6 months since you started office work?
Something I'd like to try, or rather... Well, without being too tied to just this position, I want to show that this way of working exists. Other drivers might, well, it's unfortunate, but they might get injured and find themselves unable to drive anymore. On the other hand, for those individuals who are interested in being involved with ohe transport, but perhaps not necessarily as a driver, I really want to make this a position where people genuinely think to themselves, I'd like to try that job someday. Since this is a completely new role within the company, I am quite certain that the department head, the manager, and even the office staff probably didn't really know exactly how to handle it at first or what to expect from it. And honestly, for me too, it was a bit of an unknown at the beginning. I wasn't sure how to interact either. And then there are the drivers on the other side. Well, other side sounds wrong, but they're there. And the drivers also didn't know how to act. Like, he was a driver until just recently. Right, exactly. So I want to establish this position for what it is, so that others might think, I'd like to try that too. That's the kind of role I want to make it.
Thank you very much for today.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you for the interview, even though I'm not used to it.
Thank you very much. Sorry, and thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Next time, please tell us more about your days as a driver.
I'd love to. I understand best.
Best regards. Thank you.
Oh, hey, Trans.
At ohe Transport, we are looking for drivers. Please check out our recruitment site or corporate site in the description. And if you're interested, we'd love for you to apply. Thank you very much.